Yo, this your boy EC22 of the FairWeather Fan Channel, man. We're in for another podcast, y'all. And listen, man, please, before we go any further, like, subscribe, share, leave comments, join the conversation. And we need to talk, people. Listen, I am about to spend the next 15 minutes of your lives or so, maybe 12, 13 minutes of your lives ranting about the WNBA. And I really wanted to wait to now to get on this because hopefully this will be my last time talking about the WNBA because obviously it's a subject that I'm passionate about women's sports in particularly. But it's real simple. My issue with the WNBA right now is not the WNBA. It's really with the mainstream media guys. And I had it all lined up, guys. I had a lot of video clips I want to throw out there, but you know what? I'm just going to shoot from the hip on this because I really want to come authentic. Um, the way I'm losing respect in mainstream media when it comes down to this subject. Let me just go ahead and jump into the nitty gritty. Here's what I'm saying about the WNBA. It's like, listen, the mainstream media guys, they have a lot to do, and I respect their hustle. I respect their grind. They got to watch a lot of different sports shows, and they got a lot when watch a lot of different games, and so their schedule is pretty full. And then try to come on their morning shows or evening shows, and to try to bring some information to us. And they have to do a show to analyze, to critique, whatever they got to do as far as bringing us to cover those sports and those particular shows. And I appreciate the hustle. The problem is that over the years, the WNBA came in '97, and over the years, there haven't been a lot of coverage of the WNBA. So if anybody close to the WNBA, you were just a fan of women's sports, period. You know? And so now with this whole Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese situation, now because of the popularity that started in college, now obviously the mainstream media decided to pick it up because you have both these girls went viral on social media. Caitlin Clark for her shooting. Angel Reese was just being a beast at social media. She had a lot of celebrities, a lot of people coming to her games just to come see her personally. You know what I'm saying? So that started a lot of trendiness, and now the mainstream media is now trying to capitalize off of this energy that these two great girls has created for themselves. But the problem with that is they're trying to make it seem like as though Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are the WNBA. And I understand that not even in this time frame, they may be the most talked about two individuals in the WNBA, but y'all, let's make no mistake about it. They are not the WNBA. They're not the face of the organization. And if the mainstream media keep going down this path, they're going to make people lose a taste for the WNBA because every time you turn it on the TV, it's Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. At least that's what we see in the media. And, and it's always this good versus evil type scenario. And I appreciate the viewership that has gone up. I appreciate the attention that the WNBA has been getting because what Caitlin Clark has been able to do and being a phenomenal player she was in college, and so, along with Angel Reese. But now that we have the world watching, it is up to the mainstream media to make sure that they do their homework just like they do everybody else and go out and watch these games, and not only watch this game, but go back and pull up the history of the WNBA and see some of these players. But right now, they're so locked in on calling Caitlin Clark the next wave, the future of the WNBA. And I agree with, to a certain extent, she's a great player. She's a good player. She's a great player. But when you start looking at the women that came before her, listen, she is not there not even close to being there. Yeah, she can shoot. Yeah, it's exciting to watch her shoot when she's shooting and when she's making buckets. But we're talking about a woman who has no championship pedigree to her name, not even in college. But yet here we are, we raising her up. Angel Reese has one, and there's just a lot of nonsense that's surrounding these women. And Jason Whitlock went on his show, and it's funny how he had this thing going on by talking about how Caitlin Clark, the Angel Reese is living off the hype of Caitlin Clark. Like Angel Reese was irrelevant compared to Angel Reese was irrelevant, and Angel Reese is only there because of what Caitlin Clark was doing. And then he started talking about how Angel Reese wish that she could be the ball player that Caitlin Clark is, and she's jealous of Caitlin Clark and all the attention, and that's the reason why there's this rivalry. And then he goes on to say that Angel Reese is underrated and she's not a good basketball player. And I defended Jason Whitlock here on the FairWeather Fan Show when Stephen A. Smith ripped him a new one. I defended him. I tried my best to defend him. But y'all, Jason Whitlock, I'm not going to use the expletives that Stephen A. Smith used when he went on a rant to talk about Jason Whitlock. But I will say this. He is a hater in every sense of the word. Like if we can rewrite the dictionary and we did the picture dictionary and you pull up the word hater, it is him. I listen to a lot of his shows, and just as quickly as he can, give a player their props, he is quick to come back and find something wrong. Because prior to him talking about Angel Reese being an underrated player, he himself said that she is the best thing that ever happened to the WNBA. She has made it cool and good, and she herself has made being a female athlete acceptable to the women out there. And he was nothing but like in her style of play, the way she dressed, walking in her femininity and all that stuff. He just gave us a kudos about who she is and what she means to women's sports in period. Then he goes around and just turn around and say that she's overrated and stuff like that. Like, I don't really get into this guy. Yeah, Lou said, why in the world I even listen to Jason Will I do this straight up hating? Exactly. But Lou, to answer that question, he ruffled my feathers. I try my best to stay away from him as much as possible. But I came across something and he ruffled my feathers. And when he talked about Angel Reese in his way, I mean, he went on to body shame her, talking about the way she run, the way she look, how she slumped over, how she has no athletic bone in her body. And I bet Jason Whitlock did not watch that game on Sunday when the Chicago Sky had a back and forth game with the Indiana Fever, and Angel Reese showed up in those last minutes and won that game for them. There's a lot of footage, and when people don't like somebody, it's always, listen, no player, for those of you who are watching, no player is perfect, has a perfect scoring average. There's no player that shoots 100%. So when you dislike a player, it's easily to go and capture, just like they capture the highlights of a player, some of their best shots and put in the reel, you can go capture all the missed shots and make a player seem like they're bad. And that's what some of these people has been doing to Angel Reese because of this good versus evil with Caitlin Clark. And somebody like a Jason Whitlock and even somebody like a Stephen A., they know how this works. They know how the machine works. So instead of standing 10 toes down and backing these women, say, hey, man, let's be fair, they tend to ride these waves because they have no investment into women's sports. They don't watch it. So they're looking for people out there on YouTube and all these social media to give them information because they're too lazy or they don't have enough time to go watch the game for themselves. But the problem is, this is what's coming to the people who don't know. Because too many people keep saying that Caitlin Clark is going to be the next wave of the WNBA, and you're disrespecting people like Asia Wilson, who's doing her thing, like Kalea Cooper, who's doing her thing, Breanna Stewart, who's doing her things, and I go on and on and on. The top five or the top 10 WNBA players that are not getting any type of fanfare, but every time you had to tune in to anything that the mainstream media is talking about the WNBA, you keep hearing about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And that's not fair to the scope of the WNBA. To bring this home, and I'm about to make this thing land, and I did this some time ago, but listen, y'all, you're talking about the era of basketball, WNBA, if you haven't watched. I think it was some era from maybe 2000 and maybe 3 to 2015. This is when we had Diana Taurasi in the league, along with Candace Parker, along with Cappie Poindexter, along with Tamika Catchings, along with Angel McCoughtry, along with Maya Moore and Brittany Griner. And those just to name a few. That era was like the WNBA have not seen an era of basketball with that much talent at one time in the league. When the league first started, Cynthia Cooper won the first 4 WNBA MVP awards. The 2 years after that, Lisa Leslie won back-to-back And ever since then, the only person to win 2 league MVP was Diana Taurasi. And that goes to show you how talented the WNBA has been, because every year there's somebody different. Unlike the NBA, where you keep seeing the same people winning it over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And so when you're looking at players like I just named, and Maya Moore to me, but let's look at Caitlin Clark's resume real quick, because I want to throw this out there real quick. I like to say, and no disrespect to Caitlin Clark. If you look at her resume, Google it for yourself. There are no championship belts, and I said that there are no championship belts on her. Now, she got a couple of leading, like, scoring championships in the WNBA, and I give her props on that, right? She led the league in scoring, but it didn't equate to a championship, because really in the NCAA, that's what you're measured by. Now, obviously, all these other awards and stuff like that are popularity awards and stuff like that based on your body of work, but at the end of the day, none of that talent led to a national championship. You know what I'm saying? So she has none. And she won a couple of gold medals, like in the under 19, two gold medals in the under 19 World Cup. And then she won another gold in the under 16 World Cup. So all that is great with Caitlin Clark, but once again, there are no championships to her resume. Angel Reese doesn't have all the scoring titles that Caitlin Clark have, but at least she got a national championship under her belt. But when you look at people like Maya Moore, who I just love, she had a very short career. And I'm in this with this just to kind of run down, when you're talking about somebody being the face of an organization that you just started watching mainstream media, and those people who are listed or following the mainstream media get all their information on the WNBA, and you haven't done your body work. Y'all, I've been there real time. This is not something I just started looking up and no, I was there. I watched it all. I remember when Maya Moore was over in UConn and watched her career. Same way with Brittany Griner. I remember going to peering in to watch Candace Parker in high school, and been following her career all the way since then. You know what I'm saying? So, ever since the whole campaign We Got Next in 1996, when they introduced the WNBA, I've been locked in ever since, because I love basketball. But Maya Moore, a 4-time NBA champion in 2011, 13, 15, and 17, a WNBA Finals MVP, 6-time NBA All-Star. She's 6-time NBA All-Star appearance, but she only played 7 leagues in the WNBA. 3-time WNBA All-Star Game MVP, 5-time NBA First Team. I don't want to go through all those, but NBA steals leader, NBA scoring leader, NBA Rookie of the Year, NBA All-Team Rookie. She's on the 20th anniversary and the 25th anniversary of NBA team. She won 2 Euro League championships. She won 3 China, WCBA, a women's China basketball. She won 3 championships in China. So she won 2 in the Euros, 3 in China, and 1 in Spain. In all in a 6-year period. On top of winning 4 championships in the WNBA. She had a quick career and said she offered the WNBA nothing else. And not to mention all the college accolades that she got, basically some of the same stuff that Caitlin Clark, she did all that, plus had a professional career. Now, Caitlin Clark may get there, but she's not there yet. So why put pressure on it? Y'all, I really wanted to spend this time on that WNBA situation. I'm going to jump on over to Facebook Talk Radio with my boy Lou Mefford, man. For those of you who are watching, man, please flip on over or just stay on Facebook. I'm going to put the live feed in on Facebook, man. And y'all listen, man, join us, man. Once again, appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe, share, leave comments. But y'all, I didn't have a lot of time to get everything I want to cover. So there will be a part 2 of this conversation. Because those of you who truly support women's sports, watch it. Don't get all your information from the mainstream media, because they're not telling you the truth. And I said all that to say this: if we keep hearing what the mainstream media is saying by bringing up all this nonsense, you will never be a fan of the WNBA. You got to watch it for yourself. Go watch people like Arika Ogunbowale, who's balling out of control. Kalea Cooper, man, balling out of control. And I'm just, there are some players out there. I could go on and on, but I'm not. But yo, join us on Facebook Talk Radio. We're about to flip over there, man. Appreciate you for watching, man. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share, leave comments. Support the WNBA by watching it, and don't just get an abbreviated version from the mainstream media, because those guys don't know what they're talking about. Watch it for yourself and judge it for yourself. This is EC22, and we're out.